All right, this is it. My name's Jeff K., and you're listening to episode 444 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Good boy, my ass.
Talk to my parents on Sundays, Sunday morning, usually around 11-ish, I call them. Every Sunday, it's a tradition. It's a standing tradition. The kids get on and talk to them, usually. Not always, but usually. And, it's a standing thing. So I called today. I was talking to my dad. He was sitting out on they're down in Florida. They're sitting out on their screen porch. He's sitting out there. And he says it's a beautiful day, telling me about how beautiful it is. And 75, sunny. There's a nice breeze. Perfection, So, he goes, what kind of weather are you having up here? Up there. As a overcast, gray, cold. The standard. He goes, oh, that's too bad. Beautiful here, beautiful. I said, okay. So I was telling him some story. I don't remember what I was talking about. Or I was in the middle of some story I was telling him about. And his goes, like right in the middle of it, he goes, a delivery truck just pulled up out here. I said, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what I was saying, I don't know. It's like I guess it's going to the house across the street. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's a rental unit. What would they be? Well, why are they delivering on Sunday anyway? I'm like, I was kind of in the middle of a story, like maybe mid sentence, It seems weird that these businesses deliver on Sundays. It used to be nobody did any business on Sundays. I said, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we get mail now. We get UPS and stuff on Sundays. He goes, yeah, I don't know. He goes, I don't know. That's a rental unit over there. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. I guess my story's over. I guess that's out the window. He was like, I don't know. He goes, that's a rental. Why in the world would they be buying something? Nobody would buy something to replace in a rental unit. Doesn't make any sense. Barbara, come in here and look at this. Would you take a look at this? What's going on out there? She's going, what? What are they delivering? I don't know. Looks like a refrigerator. It might be pulling. It looks like a refrigerator just came off that truck. Like, all right, well, so much for my scintillating tale. So he's just going on and on and on. He's talking about, he tells me every little thing that happened. He goes, that one big old boy looks like a Samoan sitting there in that, sitting there in the passenger side. He goes, the other one came over and banged on the door. He was asleep. Looked like he was asleep in there. Said, help me out with this refrigerator, I guess, what he was saying. And, he was they're measuring the door now. I don't think that thing's going to fit. It'll be interesting to see. My mom's like, I don't think that's going to fit. Yeah, I don't think it is either. I'm like, oh my God. This is the way it goes with them, So anyway, I gave up on that, and we were just going on and on and on. And then the older boy, he's getting ready to go to work, and he got out of the shower. And he came down the stairs. And I asked him, I said, you got time to talk to them? He goes, yeah, I got a few minutes. So I said, you want to talk to the older boy? He goes, yeah. He goes, are we done, or do you want to talk some more after we're finished with him? I said, I want to talk to you about something. I want to talk to you about Ika. He goes, oh, okay, we'll talk about Ika. So he goes, I'll just have him put you back on. I said, okay. So Ika is this thing I've been here about all my life. I mean, I've talked to him about it before. It's been a long time. But when I was a kid and all through my life, if he sees somebody and they're disheveled, like especially a woman, it's all disheveled and like messed up hair and stuff. he always says they look like Ika, right? I'm like, what the hell's that? They were like, look at this. She come, and then she came out on her porch looking like Ika. So what the hell's Ika? He goes, well, when I was a kid, we went to the carnival. And there was a sideshow where this woman was down in a hole with snakes. She was filthy. She was dirty. Her hair's all messed up. She was snakes and bugs crawling all over. I said, good God. And so, I don't know, for some reason I thought about it yesterday. I was looking for, I did some searches on the internet to see if I could find out any information on this Ika. And I found a poster. It was, you can buy them on eBay. They're recreations, reprints of these old circus posters or carnival posters. And it said Ika and the Giant Snakes. And it has like a painting of some woman and there's huge snakes, right? And I sent it to him yesterday. And I said, look what I found on eBay. And he goes, that's pretty much what she looked like, except worse. And so I wanted to talk to him about it today, right? So the older boy handed me back the phone when he was finished, and my mom was still on there. And she goes, you want to talk to your dad some more? I said, yeah, I want to talk to him about Ika. She goes, oh my God. Okay. You guys have that, you guys have that wonderful conversation. I'm getting off. So I asked my dad, I said, so when he got on the phone, I said, tell me a little bit about this. Tell me more. I said, how old were you when you saw this? He said, I was probably like 12, 13, 14, one of those. In that range. We went down to we rode our bikes, a whole bunch of us rode our bikes to the Dunbar Fairgrounds. Places, I mean, it was never around when I was a kid. I mean, when I lived there, but it was, I guess it used to be down, I know exactly where it used to be, but they rode their bikes down there. And there was a big traveling carnival coming through. We had those too when I was a kid, and in a different spot, a different location. But anyway, so he said they rode their bikes down there, and it was a trailer. He said there was a guy out there. He goes, just like on TV, guy's got a cane. He's up there yelling, "Come see the wild woman of the Ika." With her snakes and all that stuff, and it cost a nickel or a dime. He goes, I don't know, it was something like that. So we all went in there, and there was this woman down in a pit, and there's snakes down there, and she's like filthy. There's trash in there. He goes, there's plastic. It got plastic over. There's bars over it, so she can't escape. They said that, and I was reading about it a little bit. I found something that said that the advertisements were like the bars are to protect you, right, from the wild woman, Ika, right? And she's down in there, and she just looks like a crazy person, like she's mentally ill or something, and there's snakes crawling all around, and we're looking down in there and watching her, and it was terrible. He said it was terrible, and then she reached down and grabbed one of those snakes and bit its head off and chewed it up and swallowed it. He goes, I've never stopped thinking. He goes, that's been 70 years. I've never stopped thinking about that. He goes, that was one of the most it scarred me for life. He goes, I think about that from time to time for my entire life. He goes, I felt sorry for her. I felt like, I had it in my head that they just exploit her. She's like some mentally ill woman, and they just stick her down in this pit and starve her to death so she has to eat snake heads. I was like, what the hell is this? What kind of sideshow is this? Just some filthy woman, snakes slithering all over her, just eating them. I said, that sounds like a good day out right there. I said, did you have any other sideshows that you went to? She goes, there was a lot of them, but I don't really remember. Ika's the one. I mean, that kind of like blocked everything else out. That was, everything else is forgettable compared to that. He goes, well, there was this one show. There was this one thing we went in there, and there's a woman up on stage, a black woman up on stage, and she's stripped off naked. I said, what the hell? I said, you were kids? They're like 12, 13? Yeah. I said, they let you in into a strip tease? Yeah, I don't care. If you have a dime, you can get in. I said, what? She was naked on stage. Boy, we thought that was something. I tell you what. I said, I bet. Good Lord. I would love it. I said, what year was this? He goes, it'd be the early 50s. The early 50s. I bet a carnival back in those days was, oh my God. Can you imagine? I would love, that shit's crazy. I would love that. I'd love to go to probably, I would be probably scarred if I saw some woman eat a snake head. Just chew the head off a snake. God. And I don't know, there's like striptease. They let like preteens in there. Good Lord. I said, well, I'm going to do some more research on this Ika. She goes, if you find out anything on it, let me know, because, I'd like to find out that it was fake. He goes, but I don't think it was. I was standing right there. I saw her pick up a live snake and bite the head off of it, and she looked like a maniac. She looked like she was crazed. And her hair was all messed up. She was she was dirty. She was down in a hole. What the hell? Have you ever? I can't. When I was a kid, we had those traveling carnivals, but they didn't have stuff like that. I remember one time we went into one, and there was some freak. Some old guy, grizzled old guy, and he laid down on a bed of nails. But the nails were so close together. You know what I mean? The nails were like driven through this piece of wood, and they were so close together it was almost just like a solid, like I could have laid down on it. And I don't know, I don't really remember too much as far as that goes. I remember one time they said, come in here, you pay I don't know, at that point it was probably $1, pay the $1 to see the two-headed calf and all this stuff. Come see the smallest man in the world, all this stuff inside here. So you pay the $1, you go in there, and it was pictures. There was like nothing in there except photographs. We were like, what the hell's this? What a ripoff. Those things were, I remember my friend Dan Jones at one of these things. They had all these games that you could play, and one of them had a deck of cards, and it had like topless women on it, and it looked like the pictures were from like, I don't know, the 40s or 50s, probably the 50s, early 50s maybe, based on their hairstyle. And it was just from the waist up, they were topless, and it was playing cards, and each card had a naked woman on it, and we were like 12 or something, and he was a hellion, and he wanted those cards, man. He wanted those cards bad. And so he had to play some kind of game. I don't remember what it was, but it was in a trailer like thing, and he kept playing it over and over and over. Spent all kinds of money. Spent way more than the value of the cards. And he finally won. Finally, after all this effort, and the guy goes, I don't know, you guys are kind of young. I don't know if I should let you have those. I'll get in trouble. Then and Danny goes, if you don't give me those cards, I'm going to turn over your goddamn trailer. I was standing right beside him. That's exactly what he said. I'm going to turn over your The guy goes, all right, here you go. He meant it too. He goes, are you serious? He had this look on his face like, are you serious after that? You let me pay all, and then you won't even give me the prize? I'm going to turn over your goddamn trailer, And he meant it. He probably would have tried, but anyway, those they were fun, those carnivals. I didn't get anything like Ika. We got nothing like that. You ever been to a sideshow or anything like that? I know back when Lollapalooza started, they had freaks that did all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. That was different. I mean, that was a different era. Have you ever been to, did you ever go when you were young to, like, did you ever see, like, an actual sideshow, like a freak show or anything like that? I'd be interested in hearing your stories. But my dad told me that he thinks about that all the time, and he's been referencing Ika my entire life. And there's a poster that I found. You can buy a reproduction of it. And it says Ika and the giant snakes. You know, I'll put it on the website. Crazy, that's insane. But you know, that's what we talked about on these Sunday morning calls. Mom's like, "Oh my God, I'll just hand this over to your dad." I've been dreaming a lot. I don't know why, but I don't know. I know one of the original Surf Report rules of thumb is when I first started my website, I had rules of thumb. These are things that are true, right? And one of the ones. It was one of the original posts on that website. Things that are true, right? And it was nobody cares about the weird dream you had last night. That's one of life's undisputable truisms. Nobody cares about the weird dream you had last night. But I'm going to tell you about the weird dream I had. I've been dreaming a lot. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening to me. But recently, I wake up, I'm like, what the hell was that? Have I been eating like some pepperoni rolls or something? What the heck's going on? So the other day, I had a dream the other night. Had my Uncle Chuck, who lives in Dunbar, married to my Aunt Pam, and you know, Pam is my mother's sister, right? So they live in Dunbar. And Chuck, in my dream, Chuck was an idea man, coming up with all these ideas. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what this is based on. He comes up with all these crazy ideas. He's just full of ideas. Just an idea man, right? And he's talking about the Cheech and Chong stove that he invented. I have absolutely no idea what that means. I don't know what it is, but that was one of his big successes, the Cheech and Chong stove. Like, what the hell? What is that? And then he also had these bags. They were like these. He had them hanging, like you open up like a pantry in your kitchen, and there's these big long tube-like bags that were like, I don't know, what do you call it? It's like a solid, like a heavy, I don't know what it's made out of, canvas. That's what it is. It's like these, they're like shaped, they're long, they're like shaped like a God, I can't think of anything. Hang on a second. Shaped like a test tube, right? But they're made of canvas, and they're long, and they're probably like 5 feet tall. And he stores all his food in there, in these tubes, and they hang from hangers inside the pantry. So he has a pantry, and you open it up, and there's like hooks, and he has 4 of these long tubes. And he's just got food in there. He's got like loaves of bread, cans of stuff. Everything's just thrown in there randomly. And he goes, "This is you could store a whole lot of food with these canvas tubes." I was like, "How the hell? How do you?" So I was thinking, "How do you find something in there? And how's the bread not get crushed?" There's like like hot dog buns. There's like stuff on, cans of chili on top of it and stuff, just thrown in there randomly. I was thinking, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think that's a very good idea. I don't know. I know you're an idea man, and I don't know about I guess when you have the success of that Cheech and Chong stove, you just get, full of yourself. I think this one isn't very good. But then he was telling me, this is my Uncle Chuck. He's telling me that he had an idea for an airline that doesn't allow that no talls. I said, what do you mean? No talls allowed. I said, what do you mean? What does that mean? No tall people can fly on this airline. It's people under the height of 5'8". I said, what's the benefit of that? Well, no talls. No talls can go. It's just for people under 5. I said, but you're tall. I said, you're like 6'5" or something. He goes, well, I don't fly anywhere. That's the end. That's where it ended. Like, what the hell is this? That thing was so vivid in my mind. I swear to God, I did not elaborate at all. That's exactly what happened. Cheech and Chong stove, canvas test giant tubes hanging inside of a closet, like a pantry type thing, with just random food stuff in there, just piled in there, no order at all. And an airline. He wants to create an airline where no talls, that's how he put it, are allowed. So nobody over 5'8". I said, well, you're tall. Yeah, but I don't fly anywhere. Like, what the hell? And then I woke up, and that was the end of it. And I don't know. What the hell? I told you. Nobody cares about the weird dream you had last night. Check out that. I need to revisit the rules of thumb. I don't know. I have to check that out. I can't remember all of them. Also, I got an email the other day. I couldn't believe it. It was from Krispy Kreme, because I'm a member of their, repeat customer club. Keep buying them. The more donuts you buy, you earn free ones. So I get emails from them, right? Sometimes they send me like coupons that says free or use this coupon for a dozen glazed donuts for $8.99 or whatever it is. And but anyway, I get emails from them all the time. They don't have to step with the emails. Krispy Kreme has a vibrant email game going, right? So I got one the other day. It said free delivery all weekend. And I was thinking, who in the hell? I mean, if you're having donuts delivered to your house, if you can't get up off your ass and just driving down there and buying them, I feel shame. I'm like, do I need this? I don't need this. Do I need a dozen donuts? Which Tony won't eat. The older boy won't eat. Tony won't touch them. The older boy doesn't eat sweets. I don't know what in the hell is going on there. He doesn't like it. He's never liked it. Even when he's a little kid, he never liked sweets. Me and the younger boy will eat them all. The younger boy is healthy, works out all the time, and I'm not. And I end up eating like 2/3 of them. So every time I buy them, I'm like, I feel shame. I feel terrible shame. But I love these things. These things are so damn good. They're so light and airy. Oh, I could power down 4 of them. That's usually what I do. As I come home, I eat 3, just one after the other, rapid fire. And then I wait about 10 minutes and have the 4th. That's the way you do it. And so I eat, in one sitting, I eat 4 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. And I wonder why I look the way I do. I wonder why when I go to a hotel and I step out of the shower in that brightly lit bathroom with that huge mirror there, the lighting in those things, there's no shadow. I mean, it's so bright in there, there's not any shadows. It's brightly lit, huge mirror. And you pull back the shower curtain and step out, you're like, oh my God. Look at that. That's worse than Ika. You talk about something traumatizing. Talk about no wonder I look like that. I'm like powering down Krispy Kremes. Anyway, so I get things. So I feel shame driving over there buying them. You're going to have those things delivered to your house? Who delivers these things? Is it just done with like Uber Eats or something? Is that what it is? What the hell? I mean, if I ever got to the point where I was having donuts delivered to my house, I'd have to take a long, hard look at, some of my decision making and things that I've done, and I'd take stock, and I don't know, like what the hell? Free ship or free delivery all weekend from Krispy Kreme. God, I never have anything delivered. I don't even get pizza delivered. I go pick it up every time. Get in your car and drive over there and pick it up. My God, you're so lazy. I know people that I know a guy. I'm not going to name any names. I know a guy that I used to work with. He's still around, but he's in a different capacity. But he eats every one of his meals it gets delivered from a restaurant. He never cooks, and he has every one of his meals delivered. And it's like shit like Sheets. It's a gas station. It's a gas station. He's having gas station food delivered to his house, and stuff McDonald's and Taco Bell and stuff, just stuff like that. And he eats all his food from fast food restaurants delivered. He doesn't even drive to pick it up. I don't do that. That's not something I've ever done. I don't even know. I wouldn't know how to use any of those apps. I wouldn't pay the fees. It's already outrageously expensive. If you go to Wendy's, it's going to cost you like just for like a number one, which is like the single or something, or the double, whatever you want to get. It'll cost over $10, like $11, $12. It's insane. And then you're going to pay some kind of fee on top. Your fat ass can't go get your own donuts. You have to have somebody else haul them to you. Somebody else has to go pick them up, drive them to your house. Donuts. I don't have anything delivered. I don't know. The whole thing just makes me. I feel sadness, and I feel bad about it. Every time I go to get donuts, which isn't very often, and every time I go to fast food or something, I feel like I shouldn't do this. What am I doing? Why? Why are you doing this again? What is wrong with you? But anyway. I got that email the other day. I was thinking about that all day. And finally, I want to tell you about this documentary I watched. I saw something online the other day about, I don't know, it was a reference to the 1919 World Series, which was the Black Sox scandal. That's the one with where those guys threw, the Chicago White Sox players threw the World Series and took payment from gamblers, 8 men out and all that stuff. People got barred from baseball for life, including shoeless Joe Jackson, which is one of the greatest hitters of all time. So yeah, it's a famous story. So it's the 1919 World Series, and coincidentally they played the Cincinnati Reds. But the White Sox players, some of them, 8 of them, were convicted of taking money. I guess some of them admitted it and some of them didn't, but taking money from gamblers, to throw the World Series, So, that was a big deal. They brought in the commissioner for the first time ever, to straighten out the game. That's when they set up this thing and said, if you're caught gambling, you're barred for life. And that's what Pete Rose got caught up in. So the original commissioner was this Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis. What do you think about that name? You talk about your kick-ass names. Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis. He was like some tough guy, and they brought him in, and he was kicking ass, And but anyway, so I saw online where there's this footage that was found in 1978 from the 1919 World Series and it was found underneath a hockey rink in up at way up north in western Canada. I was like, what the hell's that? How could footage from the 1919 World Series end up underneath a hockey rink in way up north in the Klondike area of Canada? So it turns out there was this back in those days, like in the silent film era, they would make a few, like when a movie was being released, they would make a few prints of it. Very expensive. It was very expensive to make. So the prints would go out to, several theaters, and then when the theater was finished with it, they'd move it they'd send it on to the next one. There was like a circuit. It's like when one theater was finished with it, they would forward it to the next theater, and then they would send it to the next theater. It would take 3 years, 2 to 3 years, it said, to get all the way across the United States. So it started on the East Coast, and it would travel all the way across, and then end up in northern Canada on the West Coast. And that was the end of the line. There was no, they didn't forward it. That was the last stop on the circuit. So there was all these films that were stacking up, and they said, what do you want us to do with these things? They said, just burn them, throw them away, throw them in the river. It's like they were throwing shit in the river all the time. That's how they dispose of things. Just toss it in the river, And so there's, I don't know, they were doing that. They were burning it, and they were doing that, but there was so much of it. This guy had it stored. One guy who was in charge of these things, had crates of films stored in this basement underneath under this rec center, and it had a hockey rink in there. It turned into a hockey rink at some point. I guess at some point it was like the basement of this rec center, and then there was a hockey rink built on top of it. I don't know. I'm unclear. But so there's like hundreds and hundreds of films underneath there. They were renovating this place in 1978. They started digging it up, and there's all this film everywhere. And it was like all these silent films, like, full-length movies. There was newsreels. There was baseball footage. And some of these movies were long lost, stuff that nobody had ever seen before, because they were thought to be completely lost. And they went through. They're still working on restoring it. Some of it was damaged along. I don't know. It's like it's got damage on the sides, like on the edges, and the middle of it's clear, And it's crazy. It's insane. So there's this documentary about it, and I thought it was going to be really good. And it wasn't as good. It was kind of artsy-fartsy, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in it. I wanted to just hear the story about it. You do learn the story about it, but it's done in a weird way, very unconventional way. Like there's the whole thing's silent. The whole movie's silent, which I guess it's about silent films. I just wanted a documentary, like a standard documentary. But it was interesting. The whole thing was told through like some of the films that they found there, and then they added some other film too. It's all black and white. It was kind of interesting, but I was mildly disappointed. The story though is unbelievable. Isn't that crazy? This is stuff I never heard of or thought of. Anyway, there's some of that 1919 World Series footage. There's a play that was like that. It was considered to be made it obvious that that these guys were throwing it, and so it was a double play. It looked like a standard double play ball, and they flubbed it up, And these guys were like one of the best offense, or defensive, I should say, teams. And they're, it's just, clearly there's like messing it up on purpose. So it was like video evidence of the night. That's awesome. They found that in 1978. Anyway, you ever heard this story? I can't remember what it's called. It's called Dawson City. I think that's the town. Dawson City. It was one of these gold rush towns. I guess there used to be 30, 40,000 people lived there during the gold rush. Now there's 1,100 people there. And, they have some crazy history, Anyway, I find that stuff, fascinating. It's crazy. That's awesome that they found all those old films. And it's awesome that people are working on, fixing them up so that, you can watch them now. It's pretty cool. I love it. I love that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're at the end of this thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any stories to tell about going to carnivals, especially when you're a kid, maybe if you saw a freak show, sideshow, that kind of stuff, I'd like to hear it. I'd be interested in hearing it. Do you have anything that scarred you for life like my dad did with Ika? I'd like to know. I'd like to hear that. Give me a call. 570-290-8151. That's the number. Call me around the clock. Leave a message. Ask a question. It doesn't have to be about your personal Ika. Wonder if there's I'd like to know more about her. Wonder if there were multiple Ikas. I bet there were. I bet there was a whole bunch of Ikas. And some of them were better than others. She's considered the gold standard of Ikas. And then there's lesser Ikas. There's a whole, pecking order of Ikas. I don't know. Perhaps I'm overthinking it. But anyway, if you have anything on that, I'd like to hear about it. I'm interested in that stuff. And if you want 2 podcast episodes a week instead of a measly one, and I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't, you can do that today by heading on over to patreon.com. It's Patreon, patreon.com/JeffK. Sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation, and you'll get an extra episode every week. Not every once in a while, not every month. That's for suckers. Every week. Well, every time I publish a episode on the main network, a few days later, there's another episode for patrons only. Folks who contribute to my efforts. It helps me out a great deal, and you get an extra episode all the time, every week. It's just, there's hundreds of them in there. I mean, this is episode 444. Half of them are Patreon, So if you want, you just sign up for it, and you have access to all the ones that are already in there and all the new ones. Why are you not doing it? It makes no sense to me. It's mind-boggling. Patreon.com/JeffK and SurfReportPod.com is the web home of the podcast. I got that thing caught up finally. I got some value add. I got some support materials on some of them. Check it out. There's some good stuff there. SurfReportPod.com. And we're at the end of this thing. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, which will be over on the Patreon side. Hope you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye. The bars are to protect you, right, from the wild woman, Ika.